This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel Strat-O-Matic Baseball Excel Game of the Week.
Welcome back, baseball fans. 1979-82 Fall League World Series. We're picking up in Game 3. Moving forward with the Expos, winners of games 1 and 2 at home need to win at least a game here in Philadelphia, you'd think, and they can close it out back at home in the Game 6. Phillies, well, they can't win the World Series in their park. We know that. They lost 2 already. So their mission is also to win 2 or 3 games. Expos, Phillies, middle part of the rotation. Here we are. We've done this. Have a day off. 3 days in Philadelphia. Rudy May, Eric Schau. Then we're back to Gullickson and Carlton. And then Scott Sanderson, Dick Ruthven will make their first appearances. Today, nice matchup. Really nice matchup. For the Expos, Rudy May was with Baltimore, was with California, Baltimore, New York, the Expos. 1980, Rudy May, 15-5, 2.47 ERA, 175 innings for the Yankees. Rudy May closed out the Game 7 victory for the Expos. That Scott Sanderson started and he finished. And for the Phillies, it's Eric Schau. He threw a shutout in the National League Championship Series against Portland. He was the Padre in '82. Would take the Padres to a World Series in '84. But the Phillies stepped in with his '82 season, 10-6, 2.64 ERA, and 150 innings. Really dominates those right-handed batters that the Expos have. Should be a heck of a game. Rudy May, Eric Schau. Philadelphia needs to win this one. They can't afford to go down 0-3. Let's get started. Leading off for the Expos, hits Tim Purple Rains. 47 is a walk. Now, no more Keith Moreland. He is relegated to the bench. He doesn't have a position because Schmidt's playing third, and Bob Boone and his -3 arm are catching. And in the outfield, it's clogged up with Lonnie Smith on the bench, Larry Herndon, Greg Gross, Vic McBride, Gary Maddox. So Bob Boone is behind the dish right now, and in an uncharacteristic move, Raines is just going to stay put at first base and see what happens. So he's being tentative with Bob Boone's -3 cannon. And will that alter the fortunes of these two teams? We're about to see. Warren Cromartie. 34 is a liner to short. Andre Dawson. 69 off Schau is a pop to first. And with 2 outs, I think Raines is going to take off. And he's going to be out on a 14. Should be. Let me just double check. 17, 16. Yep, because of the -3 arm. -3 arm means you got a 13 shot on him. Wow. That's still good. But yeah, 13 will work. 14 will not work. And that is out. So a caught stealing for Bob Boone. And the home fans are excited about that. Bottom of 1. Leading off is left-handed batter Greg Gross. The Phillies are loading up with left-handed bats against Rudy May, who's much better against right-handed hitters. So right-handers Lonnie Smith, Keith Moreland, and Mickey Klutzer on the bench. Lefty Greg Gross is in the lineup. 37's a grounder to second. Pete Rose, 56. It's okay. Larry Herndon, 1-7 is a triple for Larry Herndon on 1-7. And 2 outs for Mike Schmidt. Been kind of quiet. 67 is a strikeout on the Rudy May card. Top of 2, it's Al Oliver. 5-10's a walk. Larry Parrish, 45. Lines a second. Gary Carter, 47 is a K. And with 2 outs, it's Brian Little. 37 flies to right. Bottom of 2. Bake McBride. 58 is a K. Bob Boone, 35, is a double to center field. The home fans cheer their catcher with a rocket arm. Rob Wilfong having struggles on the road. Hopefully the home cooking will help. He's also can hit lefties okay. So that's why he's in the lineup against Rudy May instead of the backup Mickey Klutz. So here's the pitch to Rob Wilfong. 49, short X. Now this could be problematic for the Expos. They decided to go with Brian Little today at short instead of Mick Kelleher. And I guess the thinking is that, you know, he hits a little better, does Little. But defensively, he's a 4.33. That's going to be a base hit. And that will score a run. So, yeah, they don't have really a great answer at short. One of the weaknesses of the Expos. But runner at first, 1 out for Gary Maddox. 112. He fouls out to the catcher, excuse me. And with 2 outs, Larry Boa, 111, pops to third. All right, 1-0 Phillies into the third. It's going to be Doug Flynn. 59 off Shao, bounce to second. Stevie Ray Braun, 1-3, he bounces to first. And back up top to Tim Purple Rains. 39, here's a walk. And do you want to keep that stolen base in your back pocket? Or do you want to... Let's try again. He's safe on a 4. At least these are competitive battles with him and Boone. Runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Warren Cromartie. And 1-7 is a strikeout. Bottom of the third. Greg Gross, 48 is a K. Pete Rose, 2-5. Oh boy, this is a triple chance. Triple 1-13 is a double on 14. Doesn't go to third. He's at second. 1 out for Larry Herndon, who tripled at his first trip. 48, flies to right. That's 2 outs for Mike Schmidt. He has just not done much, really, Schmidt, recently. So 5-8 is short X. And this, is it E25? Or no, it was E33, right? Yeah, 40-33. That's an error on Brian Little. Again, the shortstop will just kill you in a World Series if you don't get good defensive play from your shortstop and second baseman. And runners on the corners, 2 outs. It's Big McBride. 2-8, grounds to first base. My goodness. Big McBride's also on a slump. It stays 1-0. Into the fourth, it's Andre Dawson. 33, pops to first. Al Oliver, 210, bounces back to the mound. Larry Parrish, 67, is a K. 4 scoreless and no-hit innings for Eric Shao. No Philly pitcher has made it out of the 6th inning yet in the World Series, so Shao has delivered the goods at home. Bottom of the fourth, it's Bob Boone. 311, pops to first. Rob Wilfong, 611, first X. It's Al Oliver's a 4E20. Should be able to get on base, you would think. He does with a base hit. B Stealer, but Carter also has a -3 arm. Gary Maddox. 55, second X. Now this is Doug Flynn, a 1E8 second baseman, and that's going to be your double play. That's how you can win a World Series, though. At least half of your double play combination is competent. Imagine if Doug Flynn and Larry Boa were the DP combo. 1E8 and 1E7. Now forget it. It's over. Glad we separated them on different teams. The number 9, 8, and 9 hitters. All right, top of the fifth. 1-0 Phillies. It's Gary Carter. 39 is a base hit, and there goes your no-no. Now you got Brian Little. 1-3, pops to third. Doug Flynn. 2-10 for Flynn is going to be a single. To right field, Gary Carter will not attempt to go to third. First and second, 1 out. And it's Stevie Ray Braun. 112, and that's your dreaded Lomax. That's the first Lomax that we've had in a while. Be a double play. Hot line drive. Runner gets caught napping off the bag. And it's 1-0 in the bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
All right, bottom of the fifth, it's Larry Boa leading off. 2-6 for Boa. What's a triple chance? Triple 1-5. Base hit for Larry. Ace stealer. Gross. This might not be a bad time to try a hit and run. Let's do it. He's a B hit runner. Let's do it with Gross. And we get 11. That's an advancement of a runner if he's a A or B stealer and a B hit runner. So instead of a stealing chance, the batter hits the ball and the runner moves up anyway. So he's at second with 1 out. Repeat Rose doubled his last time up. 411 off of May. Left X, but it's going to be Rains out there. 48. You know, some of this, oh boy, that's a triple. A triple off of Tim Raines. You know, some of this Expo defense has a little bit to be desired. You know, just in summary, you do have Al Oliver at first, and that's a struggle. Kelleher's the regular shortstop on the bench today. He's okay. But Raines is a 4 and left. And then in right field, Cromartie's decent. He's a 3E9. But he gave up back-to-back error and hit in the previous game, or in game 1. Or was that the Angels series? That was in the Angels series, not the Phillies series. So here, a triple off the Raines defense. It's 2-0. Rose is at third. Got his triple after all, after missing it in the previous inning. Speaking of triples, it's Larry Herndon at the plate. Let's take a look at him. Larry Herndon was a Giant in 1981. Hit 288 in this season. Crushes lefties. Always a great defensive player. Went on to the Tigers. Got himself a World Series ring for the Tigers in 1984. Trying to get one here with the Phillies. So we have a runner at third, 1 out. We're going to bring the infield up in a 2-0 game. And here's the pitch to Larry Herndon. 48 off of Rudy May. Nope, it's going to be a sac fly. Could not prevent that run from scoring. 3-0 now, but there's 2 outs and Mike Schmidt. 58 short X, and here's Brian Little again, a 4E. The game will just find you sometimes. The moment you switch to a lesser shortstop, boom, you get 3 X's in 5 frames. So, 2 singles and an error thus far. Schmidt's a B stealer. He'll stay put at first for Bate McBride. 2-5, grounds to short. He needs to get on track. Bate McBride. All right, here we go to the scary inning, the 6th inning that has just been a monster for the Phillies. They cannot seem to figure out the Expos in the 6th inning. Maybe being on the road will be the solution. So, can a Philly pitcher get 3 outs, a starting pitcher get 3 outs in the 6th inning? Because Carlton and Ray Burris could not. It'll be Tim Raines leading off. 2-9, base hit. He's going to stay put now, down 3 for Warren Cromartie. 6-11 off of Shao. Left X. This is Herndon. Very good outfielder, like I said. He's a 2E9, a 2. And he makes the catch. Fly ball B. Raines stays put at first with 1 out. And you got Andre Dawson. 5-10 off Shao is a walk. Did not want to do that to face the left-handed batter. And Shao. Well, folks, writing's on the wall. He's a starter 6. He just put 2 guys on base here in the 6th. And these Expos have shown the Phillies a lot here. Big moment here for Al Oliver. Let's take a look at him. I don't think we've seen this card that much. My goodness. Al Oliver, 82, your National League batting champion, a .331 average with 22 homers, which is nothing to sneeze at. When he was with the Pirates and Rangers, he was mostly in the teens or single digits in homers. But he got 22 of them, plus 43 doubles with this card. And they're only asking him to play first base. You don't have to play the outfield. You don't have to DH. Just play first base. That's what the Montreal Expos asked him to do in 82. And it was one of his best seasons of his career. So 2 on, 1 out. Here's the pitch to Al Oliver. 55 off of Shao is triple. 1-4, single ... It is a single ... and the Poes are on the board in a 3-1 affair, and Eric Shao is broken. Oh my goodness. What are you supposed to do if you're Philadelphia here? Heck, your other starters got 5 2/3. Shao's just 5 1/3. Roy Thomas was not much shakes. He wasn't very good. Sears did okay. Drago McGraw. If you've been following this, we saw some pitchers being left in at their point of weakness with various results. Dave Frost was left in, and they immediately As soon as he hit his point of weakness, immediately the next batter rolled that dot on the card. But Eric Schall is so tough against righties. I gotta keep him in there for Larry Parrish at least. Because Larry Parrish is one of the top right-handed hitters in this lineup, so I need Schall to battle him here. He will battle. You got runners on the corners. We're looking for a double play to get out of this. Get out of this 6th inning. The pitch to Larry Parrish. 2-9, doesn't matter. It's on his card. It's a single to center field. Dawson scores. Oliver will not challenge the Matic's arm. It is 3-2 with 2 men on and 1 out now. And you got Gary Carter, who's probably a little bit better against righties than lefties. And yeah, I think they might want to go. Yeah, they're going to hook Schall. I mean, he hit his point of weakness and put 4 guys on. And he stands to be a losing pitcher if these guys score. 5 1/3. The monster 6th inning rears its ugly head again. And the Expos are trying to take advantage here. 1st and 2nd, you can get a double play and get out of this with a lead. They're going to do it with Ray Searage. Been using him a lot. Hasn't blown up in their face yet. Ray Searage, 81, 1-0, 365 ERA for the Mets in 37 innings. Good against lefties. Okay, decent against righties. Basically, it's the guys behind Carter, Brian Little, Doug Flynn, and Stevie Braun. None of those guys can hit lefties, so they're bringing him in here. In the 6th inning, Ray Searage, with 1st and 2nd and 1 out, will face Gary Carter. And here's the pitch to the kid. 4-5 off Searage is short X, and he knows, hey, he didn't have Larry Boa playing shortstop on his Mets, but Ray Searage knows who's playing shortstop in Philadelphia for these moments. 1-7 shortstop, and that's a double play. That's how you win World Series games, folks. You have Larry Boa playing short for you, and the inning's over. So the Expos pull within a run, 3-2. This is the most entertaining of the 3 games thus far. Bottom of the 6th, Rudy May will continue. Kind of a mediocre start. He will face Bob Boone. 2-6, grounds a short. Will Fong, 49, short X. Oh, what a day for Brian Little. 4-33, another hit. Staggering amount of damage inflicted by the defense of Brian Little today. A single, an error, and 2 more hits. That's awful. One of the worst defensive displays we've had in a World Series game. And the gap between him and Boa is on display here in this inning. So Will Fong's at first. B. Steeler. We're going to play back for Gary Maddox. 2-6 is a pop to short. And with 2 outs, it's Boa. 69, Boa walks. 2 on, 2 outs. You have Greg Gross. Let's take a look at the Gross card. Interesting card. Probably, you only have 10% against lefties, but they factored in a bunch of walks for him. That's enough to keep him in a lineup, particularly against a pitcher like Rudy May, who's pretty below average to average against left-handed batters. It's much better against righties. That's why Gross is in here. With 1st and 2nd, frankly, Rudy May would prefer a walk off the Gross card than a hit off of his own. So here's the pitch to Greg Gross with 2 on and 2 outs. 1-7 is one of those walks. Doesn't hurt Rudy May yet. The bases are loaded with 2 outs, and it's only Pete Rose. He has a double and a triple. Rudy May is a starter 7. He's not close to a point of weakness, but he's not been very sharp at all. And they might think about moving him into the bullpen for the latter games of the series. So don't let him pitch 9 innings if you can. So he will pitch to Pete Rose here, his final batter. Here's the pitch. 110 is 3rd X. This is Larry Parrish. He's pretty good. He's a 2-25 third baseman. Huge moment here for Larry. And he cannot make a play, a single off of his 2-ness. See fielding rating 2, single dot. Tough break for the Pose. And it's back to a 4-2 game. Now you got Herndon and righty-righty, and I'm going to call it. I know May is good against righties, but I'm in a situation here where I'm starting to think a big picture for the Expos. We're up 2-0 in this series. Rudy May could come back in game 6 or 7 and come out of the bullpen instead of starting. And we could have, because we're only going to need Sanderson, Rogers, and then Gullickson will have a couple starts. So from here on out. So that's probably going to be it for Rudy May as a starter in the series. He'll leave after 5 2/3. Boy, this World Series has been pretty tough on starting pitching. That's the 4 of the 6 starters have not made it through the 6th. And we have to go Enrique Romo, a righty who gets righties out, in this case, in the 6th inning, to face Larry Herndon. 1 run in, bases loaded, 2 outs. And the pitch to Larry Herndon. 2-11 is a pop to second base. All right. Not a bad game. Pretty interesting. 4-2 affair. Searage. He'll pitch through to the bottom. Even Raines is better against righties. And then you have Cromartie. So the next, really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hitters in this lineup aren't particularly good against lefties. Brian Little will exit, which is probably a good thing. He's presently serving at shortstop. But we will start this inning with Dan Norman. Let's take a look at Dan Norman, the pinch hitter. Plenty of power against lefties. Searage will not be chased, with Flynn and Braun up next, and a 2-run lead. So Searage will continue against Dan Norman, the pinch hitter, and he'll come in and most likely be the DH. The pitch to Dan Norman. 63 off Searage is right X. You got Bake McBride out there, 2-4. He makes the grab. Number 8 hitter, Doug Flynn. 2-8 is a base hit. And the tie run is Stevie Ray Braun, who doesn't have any hits on his card. You can do this a couple ways here. If you pinch hit Rich Murray here, they're just going to go to a righty. And he can't hit righties. If you go Mick Kelleher here, he's, pretty much the same both ways. And theoretically not even a threat to against Searage. You can leave Searage in here to face him. So Mick Kelleher will come in, batting for Braun. Take over at shortstop. And Searage will pitch to him because Mick Kelleher is not very intimidating. So here's the pitch to Mick Kelleher. 2-4 is hit by the pitch. Oh, you hit him. Not a smart move there. Now you got the tie runs on board with 1 out. You're back up top to Tim Raines. Let's take a look at the Tim Raines card. You can see that he is much better against right-handed pitchers on bases in all 3 columns. Against a lefty, you got a homer out on 6, and not like a 240, 250 average maybe against left-handed pitching. And then you got another lefty, Warren Cromartie, on deck, who's also better against righties. So Searage will most likely pitch through to Cromartie, who really can't hurt Searage with a homer, as he doesn't have power. So Searage continues. He is a relief too, anyway. So you need a point of weakness here for Purple Raines, with 1 out and 2 men on. Here's the pitch to Tim Raines. 56 is a fly to left. And with 2 outs, final batter will be Warren Cromartie. Here's the pitch to Warren. 2-7 Cromartie pops to second base. We can write that'll be the end of the day for Searage as Dawson lead off next inning. Searage has shown his usefulness in the League Championship Series and here in the World Series now, freeing up Tug McGraw as your lefty closer so you can go lefty, righty, lefty with Dick Drago in between. So they have that leverage now. You'd like to go lefty, righty, lefty if you can in the bullpen late in games. Classic here from Philadelphia Veterans Stadium. We are enjoying stretch time music of MFSB. Their 1973 LP, Love is the Message, featuring Love is the Message. And of course, the sounds of Philadelphia. Let's give them a little holler here. In the bottom of the 7th inning, with a 4-2 lead, Romo is pitching for the Expos. He'll continue as the righty Schmidt is due up. By the way, defensively, we simply have a shortstop and a DH coming in for a shortstop and a DH. So no big deal there for the Expos. Bottom of the 7th, here we go. Mike Schmidt with a 4-2 lead will lead off. 2-9, he Ks. Bake McBride. 67, single 1-2, lines out. And Bob Boone. 4-10 for Bob Boone. Big moment here off the Romo card. Homer, 1-19, double the rest. It is gone. It's a 5-2 game. Perhaps one batter too many. And that'll do it for Romo. They wanted to get to Wilfong and bring in a lefty. Unfortunately, another run scored in the process. So now, Sparky Lyle will come on in to face the lefty Wilfong. Lyle, 5-8 for the Rangers in 79 with a 3.13 ERA in 95 innings. Needs to keep these Expos in this game. He will face Rob Wilfong with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 65. Hits the Lyle card. It's double 1-7. It's a double for Wilfong. Good news for him. He is 4 for 4 today. The home cookin' has turned his World Series around. He was dreadful up north, but now he's come home and it's a different story. You got a runner at second, 2 outs for Gary Maddox. 69's a walk, and Lyle, this is it. Larry Bowie, you got to get him out here, or he'll turn it back up to the top and it gets ugly. With Greg Gross as a DH, Lonnie Smith and Keith Moreland could certainly come off the bench and turn this into a rout. So first and second, 2 outs. The pitch to Larry Boa. 45 flies to center field. There we go. The sounds of a happy Philadelphia. Trying to get their first World Series win here. It is 5-2 as we go to the 8th inning. We need 6 outs. We got Tug McGraw. We got righty, lefty, righty, righty. Let's take a shot with Drago. We got a 3-run lead. We really don't want to wear Tug McGraw out. We had an opportunity in the League Championship Series for Tug McGraw to get a 3-inning save in the concluding game, and he did. We also have, in our history, in our Summer League, when the New York Mets, the 69 Miracle Mets team, and met the Detroit Tigers in a World Series, in a Game 5, Tug McGraw came on in for a 4-inning save. That's way, way back in the history books here for me. But I've used McGraw in that way. He's not, by the way, Tug McGraw is still a relief 3. He's not a relief 4 anymore. So the 4-inning save days are pretty much over. All right, Dick Drago in the 8th. Dick Drago was a Red Sox. Give you his stats. 10-6, 3.03 ERA in 89, probably his best year. Dick Drago, as a reliever, was a good starter with the Royals earlier in the 70s. 5-2 game. All of the Philly defense is set. It'll be Andre Dawson. 1-7, homer 1, double is a double. Now you got Al Oliver, who is 1 for 2 with a walk. 34, grounds the first. Dawson's at third with 1 out. Parrish is an A-bunter, so you got to play it up. That's the way I usually play A-bunters. So here's the pitch to Larry Parrish. 39 is lefty question mark. You'd like to think the Expos want to cut the lead to 2. Dawson is a 17, 18, 19. -2 arm for Herndon makes it a 17 chance. And he scores on an 11. It is 5-3. And it's Gary Carter. And the pitch to Gary Carter with 2 outs. 47 off Drago is single 1-9, and it is a base hit. And now you have the tie run up in the presence of Dan Norman. The only guy left on the bench is Rich Murray. He can't hit righties very well at all. So Dan Norman will have to swing away here, and this will probably be Drago's last batter. Dan Norman, with a runner at first, he's a tie run with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 67 off Drago is a strikeout. So in the next inning, Doug Flynn doesn't hit lefties very well, then Kelleher, and then Raines. Yeah, we're going to see Tug McGraw in the ninth. He already got the call on that one. 5-3, bottom of the eighth. Sparky Lyle has just gone, what? Just a third of an inning, right? So he'll just continue. Greg Gross, or do you want to go with a pinch hitter here? Let's go. You know, Lonnie Smith actually has power against lefties. Let's actually have him bat for, you know what? Let's actually, for power, let's go Mickey Klutz. Poor guy, hasn't played, very seldom ever plays. You got a 5-3 lead. Mickey Klutz will pinch hit for Gross against the lefty Sparky Lyle. Here's the pitch. 66, and there you go. Double 1 of 14. It's a base hit. It's a Klutz hit for Mickey, former Oakland A player. He's at first. Now you got Rose, and then a right-handed pitcher to face Herndon. The pitch to Pete Rose. 5-11 off of Lyle is a K. And that'll do it for Sparky. He got just 2 guys out. And we need Hamilton to, actually, no, we'll have Elias Sosa. Hasn't pitched much. The Expo closer just has not been needed. Expos won pretty handily. So he'll come on in the 8th inning, see if he can get a couple outs here. Facing Larry Herndon and Mike Schmidt with a man at first and 1 out. Larry Herndon, the pitch. 43, left X. Oh, it's Raines. It rains, it pours. He's a 48 in left field. That's going to be a single dot. Like I said, the Expos have some holes in their defense. You got runners on the corners. Got to bring it up and hole here as Herndon's an ace-stealer. For Mike Schmidt. 6-10 for Schmidt off Sosa is center X. This is a 1-11. It's got to be an error or caught. Or a fly ball 8, which is what it is. A 1-11 center fielder. It's a fly ball 8. Not deep enough, or at least the throw from Dawson was right on target, and he didn't even attempt to make a move to the plate. So 2 on, 2 outs, and it's Bake McBride. And the pitch to Bake, he's really struggled. He is 0 for again. I think he might be 0 for the whole thing. Pitch to Bake McBride. 64 off Sosa is catcher's X. We do have a guy at third. Do we not? Didn't we get the, yeah, we got the hit off of Raines. So we have a guy at third, but you got Gary Carter. You know, these 1 catchers, it's hard to get that pass, ball, or foul out on them. Carter is a 1E3, so good luck with this. He's a 1E3. They get it, though. Big moment there. A pass ball by Gary Carter. Bad time for that. So a tough break again for the Expos. As they've been chipping away with runs in the 6th and 8th inning, but the Phillies have responded. That is an unearned run. Mickey Klutz does score, the new DH. And it's a 6-3 game. I got to put the E so I know it's an unearned run there. 6-3 game in the 9th, setting us up perfectly for Tug McGraw to get his first save in this World Series. Tug McGraw. 1980, 5-4, 1.47 ERA, 92 innings. We of course know that he'd be jumping up and down on the mound in the 1980 World Series. 2 more cracks with this card. Next year, of course, in the Fall League would be the 1980-83 World Series, or season. So McGraw's card will continue for 1 more year. So he has 2 more attempts to get that moment for the Phillies. Will it happen here in this World Series, or do they have to attempt it if they come back in next year's World Series? We go to the 9th. It's Doug Flynn leading off. Rich Murray's on the bench. You probably should get him in here for one of these swings. I'm gonna do it here. I'm gonna have Rich Murray come in for Doug Flynn, as Flynn has no hits on his card. So Rich Murray will swing away. Here's the pitch. 1-7. It's a homer chance. It's homer 1-4. Fly ball the rest, and he rolls the 4. Rich Murray. Another home run. He had a big home run on a 1-4 roll against Baumgarten in the American League Championship Series to help the Expos in that game. Solo shot Rich Murray, and it's 6-4. This is the way Tug McGraw likes to make the game dramatic. It'll be Mick Kelleher in the number 9 spot here. The bottom 3 spots have all been replaced. Little, Flynn, and Braun are now all gone. There's Mick Kelleher. 34 is a pop to short. 2 more outs to get. We go up top to Tim Raines. Raines today, 1 for 3 plus a walk. Oh, excuse me, 1 for 2 plus 2 walks. Pitch to Tim Raines. 47 off McGraw is a strikeout. That's brutal. And with 2 outs, you got a lefty, which is good news, as McGraw is brutal against righties, but against lefties, not so much. So Cromartie needs to get on base so that Dawson can get his swings in here. The pitch to Warren Cromartie. 1-9, let's take a look at the Cromartie card against a lefty. Did what he needed to do. 1980 Expo had 14 homers and a 288 average. Could play first base. Actually plays it better than Al Oliver, but somebody needs to play the outfield, so Cromartie's out in right field this season. 1-9, double 1-6 is a base hit, and that does indeed bring Andre Dawson to the plate as the tie run against Tug McGraw. This is one of those pat the chest moments McGraw's famous for, feeling if his heart's beating loud enough in there. Andre Dawson is 1 for 3 plus a walk, scored twice, is the tie run in the 9th inning. Let's take a look at the Dawson card. If you're wondering, he has rolled against a right-handed pitcher, homer 1 double, at least 3 times in the League Championship and World Series. If you get that roll again against a lefty, it's a 1-17. You almost want to walk him. But in this case, he is the tie run, Tug McGraw, against Andre Dawson. And here is the pitch. 1-6! Andre Dawson connects deep into the left field. It is gone! Andre Dawson, a 1-6 homer. By the way, if you're wondering, Al Oliver has the same 1-5 to 10 column. So 1-5 is a homer for Al Oliver. 1-6 is homer 1 to 8, double the rest. So it's an Al Oliver homer to give him the lead. Here, Dawson hits a homer on that roll, and it's a 2-run shot, and the Phillies are stunned to the 9th. The game is tied. Rich Murray, homer on the roll of 4, and then a Dawson automatic shot, and these Expos have tied up Game 3 of the World Series to a stunned Philadelphia crowd. It is 6-6 with 2 outs in the 9th. And now Oliver will step in the box. He's very dangerous here against McGraw. And if you've been following my league and been following the Phillies, you've heard me talk about how bad a year McGraw has had. His ERA was 9 at one point. It got down to like 4.5, 5. But here we have a catastrophic failure for Tug McGraw. Oh boy. And Al Oliver stepping into the box. Here's the pitch. 2-12 for Oliver is the foul to the catcher. Now, what do you do if you're the Expos? Sosa, how far do you go? You've got, first of all, the Expos now have to field a team, and they've run out of infielders, I think, because Little, Flynn, and Braun are gone. So we have Mick Kelleher can play in the middle infield. We need a second baseman. I don't know if we got one. We got a catcher, third baseman, outfielder, first baseman, Kelleher. Oh, Tim Raines. I knew there was a fix there. Not bad, not a bad fix. So actually it works out. Check out this Expo substitution. Tim Raines goes to second base. He's no great shakes there, but it opens up an outfield spot for Dan Norman, and that opens up a first base spot. Oliver goes to DH, and Rich Murray goes to first base. So all these reserve players are going to play in the field. Murray at first, Kelleher at short, Norman in left, Raines goes to second, while you still have Cromartie in right, Dawson in center, Parrish at third, Carter catching. So they can field the team. This is sort of the defense they would use anyway against left-handed pitching throughout the season, with Brian Little, Doug Flynn, and Steve Braun normally on the bench anyway. It's just that they started the game and now they're on the bench. So you have Sosa Got 2 outs in the 8th. He's a relief 3. I have to think you have to let him pitch the 9th inning and then see how far you want him to go. You'd hate to lose Sosa to a 3-inning or longer appearance than lose him for the next game or so. But in the bottom of the 9th inning for the Phillies, they still have Lonnie Smith and Keith Moreland on the bench. But you got Bob Boone, Rob Wilfong, Gary Maddox, and Larry Boa. And Sosa is really good against righties, so Smith and Moreland will just stay on the bench for now. Bob Boone leads off in a 6-6 game in the bottom of the 9th. What a comeback. What a fun game this has been. Bob Boone, here's the pitch. 4-12 for Boone is a pop to first. Now you got Rob Wilfong. 56, short X. Now we've improved the defense. It was terrible with Little. It's gotten a little bit better with Kelleher. He's a 3-23 shortstop. And he makes the play. The first play on a short X today for the visitors. And it's Gary Maddox. Gary's had some big homers this year, excuse me, for the Phillies. A walk-off now would bring delirium here to the vet. Here's the pitch to Gary Maddox. 47 off Sosa is a K. We go to the 10th. Oh boy, folks. Now I'm kind of rifling through pitching options here. Carlton went in game 1. Shal's gone. Burris started a game. Ruthven's pitching after Carlton is pitching tomorrow, so he really can't pitch today. You do have Roy Thomas and McGraw at this point. You may as well get your 2 or 3 innings out of McGraw so that Roy Thomas could then finish this game if it goes 15 or whatever innings. He's a relief 3 starter 6. So they're going to go another inning with McGraw here and hope the bad stuff is behind him. In the top of the 10th, it'll be Larry Parrish, Gary Carter, and Dan Norman, and Rich Murray. I don't think you want McGraw to pitch to Rich Murray again. That didn't work out last time. But somebody has to pitch to Parrish, Carter, and Dan Norman, and it might as well be McGraw, who, like I said, dominates right-handed batter. So here's the pitch to Larry Parrish. 56 is a K for McGraw. Now you have Gary Carter. Gary's had a quiet, nice day, 2 for 4. 2-8 for Gary Carter is double, 1-19. That's a ton of doubles. He's got a double chance automatic on 5. Gary had 26 of them in 79. They seem to all come against left-handed pitching. 2-8 is a 2-base hit. And now you've got Dan Norman, who is 0 for 2. This is his 3rd at-bat after the 7th inning and beyond. Norman stinks versus righties, as does Rich Murray. It almost seems silly to quick hook Tug McGraw, of all pitchers. But when you look at Dan Norman versus a righty and Murray against righty, they're pretty awful. And Kelleher, they're all bad. Again, we're going to flash the Dan Norman card up on the board here. You see, it's a big split here. He's very dangerous against McGraw. If he hits his card with Gary Carter at second base and you're down 0-3 in the series. But then at the same time, Roy Thomas has come in and surrendered home runs, and he's been pretty awful with inherited runners. I think I just got to go with Tug McGraw. I mean, if you're going to go down 0-3 in this series, you have to beat Tug McGraw for it to happen. So McGraw's going to continue with a runner at second, 1 out, against Dan Norman. Here's the pitch. 2-9, Dan Norman with a base open. Triple, 1-18. That's a 3-base hit. And the Phils are in deep trouble now. They are in deep water. You could have walked him, then hooked McGraw, and forced Murray to face a right-handed batter. Now you pretty much have to do that, down a run already, as McGraw has simply been awful. There's no other way to paint this. Oh, my goodness. You just can't let that happen. You let Norman swing away, he killed you. I mean, Dan Norman, by the way, in 1980 hit 180. I remember that for the Mets. This version of Dan Norman who was a Met, hit .245. And that is a dagger 7-6 lead, and McGraw exits the game. My goodness. Oh, what? How the mighty have fallen in Philadelphia. Tug McGraw, he's only gone an inning and a third. He's being chased by these Expos. And it will be Roy Thomas to knock the bats out of Rich Murray and Mick Kelleher's hands here in the top of the 10th inning. Roy Thomas coming on in the 10th because he's right-handed. 3-4, 2.92 ERA in 77 innings. Probably brought in one batter too late, obviously, to face Rich Murray, who homered. The .216 hitting Rich Murray homered off McGraw, and the .245 hitting Dan Norman tripled off of McGraw, which is just a stunning result. We have a runner at third with one out. We're bringing the infield up, and here's the pitch to Rich Murray. 47 off of Roy Thomas is a base hit to center field. I know what you're wondering. Yep, that's a strikeout for McGraw. Every move blows up in this for the Phillies. Every decision just gets worse and worse. Dawson swings away here and ties the game. You have another swing here. McGraw, it's just a disaster for the Phillies. It's tough to put this all together now. You've got a 2-run lead with one out. Rich Murray's at first. You have number 9 hitter Mick Kelleher, who I almost think, why not just bunt him? Get a guy in scoring position for Tim Raines. You look at this Philly bullpen. Sirich was good. Drago was okay. Drago did give up a run also. McGraw was terrible. And Thomas has been bad for a few games now. Mick Kelleher, I think he'll just swing away. He'll just swing away here. Mick Kelleher, here's the pitch. 38, let's take a look at the Kelleher card. He only hit .254, but it's all coming up Expos in the World Series, folks. 3-8, what can you do? Another hit to center field. Rich Murray is a 12-runner. He'll stay put. You almost think they're filing out of the vet, but they got to stick around and witness this thing come to a climax in the bottom half of the inning here. You know, it's like they're not going to leave this game. It's first and second with one out, down 2. Tim Raines. There is nobody to bring in the pitch for the Phillies. They're all gone. Carlton was terrible. Burris was terrible. Shell got knocked out in 6th. Ruthven's pitching tomorrow to try and avoid being swept. And it's Tim Raines with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 10th inning. Here's the pitch to Tim Raines. 2-3, and here's a ground ball first B. Fielder's choice. That puts runners at first and third. I almost think you just have to just let Raines run down to second base, and they do. There's no reason to hold him there at this stage of this mess. It's second and third with 2 outs. And Warren Cromartie, you could walk him to face Dawson, who's been killing you today, wearing you out with doubles and homers. So I'll deal with Warren Cromartie. He's a .288 hitter. So here's the pitch, Roy Thomas to Warren Cromartie, second and third and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 49 off Thomas is a walk, and here we have it again. Do they bat? Yeah, this is batting around, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th batter to bat here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. It's only Andre Dawson. Let's recap his day. After a slow start, he scored on a walk, scored on a double, hit the game-tying 2-run homer in the 9th. He has a chance to pretty much hit a championship homer, or, you know, I think at this point they would exit the vet if he gets a 2-run hit here. Andre Dawson, bases loaded, 2 outs in the top of the 10th inning, and here is the pitch. 37 is a strikeout. So there is a bit of, for Philadelphia, they can still come back and tie or win this thing in the bottom of the 10th. And you know Sosa, he is going to stick around for his 3rd inning of relief. It's going to be Bo up. Then you have Klutz, most likely a pinch hitter will be Lonnie Smith or Moreland, and Rose. So 2 of the first 3 batters are going to be left-handed, and Sosa's only so-so against lefties. No danger of breaking. We never did show you Sosa's card. let's show it to you now. He was with the Expos in '79, was 8-7 with a 1.95 ERA in 97 innings. He is the closer of a very talented bullpen. Again, these ERAs, Dave Hamilton 3.69, Romo 3, Sparky Lyle 3.13, and Sosa 1.95, the closer. So it's not a fluke that the Expos have some options end of games. He's recorded 5 outs at this point. These are going to be the 3 biggest outs of the Elias Sosa career here. If he can put the Expos up 3-0 in the World Series. It's Boa, Klutz, Rose, but you pretty much are going to get Lonnie Smith and probably Moreland as well. My question is, Klutz is the backup shortstop to Boa. Rose can't play short, of course. Schmidt used to, but not anymore. Now, Boa's got to stay in this game. Plus, Sosa is not good against lefties. So it'll be Boa, a pinch hitter, and Rose here in the bottom of the 10th inning for the Phillies. This could get ugly in Philadelphia. I mean, these fans. This is just a mess, what we have here. Larry Boa leading off in the bottom of the 10th. Here's the pitch. 3-6 for Boa is a grounder to second base. Let's start showing you cards here. Mickey Klutz will be pinch hit for. You have to go Lonnie Smith here. If Lonnie Smith gets on, he automatically would go down to second base to avoid a double play. Here's Lonnie Smith's card. Again, 339 in 1980. He only got on the bench today because of Rudy May as the starter is terrible against lefties, and so Greg Gross got the leadoff spot. But at some point when Rudy May was taken out of the game, we knew we'd go to Lonnie Smith. They actually went for Klutz to go for a homer here, and Klutz got a single and scored anyway. It seemed like this was great news for the Phillies. But boy, folks, Lonnie Smith, a guy who got World Series rings for the Phillies, another one for the Cardinals. I want to say, did he get one for the Braves or the Royals? I don't remember. He's got a bunch. Anyway, here's the pitch to Lonnie Smith. 4-10 off Sosa's a pop to third, and here it is, folks. It's only Pete Rose. Pete Rose could control the fortune of a team that's about to go down 0-3 in the World Series. You know, in his career with the Reds and the Phillies, those teams never went down 0-3 in a series. Even the 71 Reds that lost 4 out of 5, I think they went down 2-1. And then the Orioles won games 4 and 5 is what I thought. Anyway, Pete Rose with 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th inning. Here is the pitch. 53 off of Sosa is a fly ball to right X. He's not perfect. He's a 3-9 in right field. We're going to roll this and check the result. And he catches the ball. Warren Cromartie, the 3-9 in right field, gloves that shot into the right field corner, squeezes it. The collapse is complete. The Expos have beaten the Phillies 8-6 in Game 3 of the World Series. They are up 3-0. We know the history. You have 2004. Was 2004, right? Red Sox, Yankees. But that was in the league championship. Never happened in a World Series. The Expos are on the precipice of winning a World Series for the American League, which is incredible to think of how far this team has been kicked around in realignment in my league. Kicked out of Montreal, moved out of the National League East, not invited to the American League East, in the American League North, trying to bring the pennant, the World Championship, to the city of Burlington, Vermont, Lake Champlain, and Lower Montreal, if you want to call it that. That's it for Game 3. We will pick up in the next elimination game, which basically will be points of Games 4, if there's a 5, if there's a 6, if there's a 7. Obviously, Game 4 is a potential elimination game, so we'll pick that up at the end of this. So stay tuned, folks, and we'll be right back. All right, here we are back. Let's show you the box score of Game 3. The 8-6 victory for the Expos in extra innings. Just a crazy affair. Let's get the totals. 8 runs, 15 hits. They walked 6 times. They reached base 21 times. Phillies, 6 runs, 14 hits, walked 3 times. They reached base 17 times. So the Expos did get on base a lot more. Tug McGraw, inning and a third, 5 hits, 5 runs. His season stats are just going to be horrible when we ever get to those. And then Drago gave up a run in his inning. Searage did okay in an inning and 2/3. Eric Schau went 5 1/3. No one's gotten out at 6 yet. And Sosa, 2 2/3 innings. This is his best start, relief appearance, I should say. Get out victory. Normally gets saves. Just a hit and a strikeout. Rudy May did give up 10 hits in 5 2/3, which is a lot. Which just goes to show this Philadelphia offense is still potent if they can just kind of figure out how to close these Expos out of things. Which brings us to Game 4. And in Game 4, here we are again with Gullickson and Carlton. And these guys are struggling again. Top of the second inning, Al Oliver and Parrish back-to-back doubles, 1-0. And at this point, the Expos are 24 outs away from winning the World Series. Bottom of the third, though, here come the Phillies. Will Fong walks. They've juggled their lineup, by the way. I'll get to that in a little bit. Larry Boa hit and run single, so that's a new thing for this team to get successful at. After a couple outs, you have a single, and then Moreland singles, and it's Gross gets thrown out at the plate, so they only score twice. So it is 2-1. Well, here come the Expos again. A hit, a walk, a strikeout. Then Mick Kelleher and Doug Flynn get RBI singles in a befuddling move against Steve Carlton, which is just mind-boggling, really. It's 3-2. Then in the 5th inning, Rich Murray gets his second double of the game. The .216 hitting Rich Murray. A double, a single, a walk, a double. All off of Carlton. We just want him to get to 6 innings. No Philly pitcher, and he's getting knocked around like a punching bag again. He does rally at the end of the inning. The Expos strand a couple, which will be important as it's a 5-2 game. Then in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Phillies do it again. It's the bottom guys that are the catalyst. Will Fong now batting 8th, and then he reaches on a single. He's got like 6 hits in the last 2 games. He's gotten hot. Boa gets another hit and run single plus a walk. So Will Fong and Boa are setting the table, going back up top to Lonnie Smith, who hits a 2-run triple to pull the Phils within 1. Pete Rose singles to tie the game. Then Gray Gross hits a single to left field. So with 1 out, Pete Rose decides he wants to go coast to coast to get to third with less than 2 outs. And Tim Raines throws Pete Rose out at third base, which, with a head-first dive, and I'm envisioning this, I'm thinking there's no way Pete Rose is going to get thrown out at third base, but I guess it's not the 75 series. It's a little bit later. So he's cut down at third base. The inning's over after a ground out by Schmidt, but we have a 5-5 affair. The good news is that in the 6th inning, Steve Carlton got a ground out, a strikeout, and a ground out. So he has completed 6 innings. Both pitchers have been knocked around for 5 runs through 6 innings. Bill Gullickson and Steve Carlton. So that's where we're at. We've been through the lineups 3 times already. The Phils have sent a couple more batters to the plate in this one. We're going to pick up in the top of the 7th of a potential series win for the Expos. Leading off in the top of the 7th is Andre Dawson. 64 off Steve Carlton, homer, 1-7, double the rest. It's a 2-base hit. I have to think if the Expos were to win the World Series, Andre Dawson might be your series MVP. He had the big home run off of Tug McGraw. And I'd certainly prefer him to be the series MVP than Rich Murray or Dan Norman, for Pete's sakes. So Dawson's at second base. For the only left-handed bat in this lineup against Carlton, Al Oliver. 56 is a K. Now you got the dangerous Larry Parrish. He's 3 for 3. He's seeing Carlton, oh, fine and dandy here. The pitch to Larry Parrish. 1-9 is a K. And with 2 outs, it'll be Gary Carter. Gary Carter, in Game 7 of the ALCS, went 5 for 5 in the closeout game. If this is a closeout game, he's not doing as well. He's over 2 runs scored on a walk. Here's the pitch to Gary Carter. 69 off of lefty is a bouncer to second. This is Wilfong. And Wilfong makes a nice play. He's really turned his World Series around. Stretch time here in Philadelphia of a 5-5 affair. Down 0-3. You start seeing those stay focused signs that pop up when they know the team has literally no shot, you know, and all that does is make the team, remind the team, yeah, we got no shot, we're down 0-3. So the stay focused signs are popping up around the vet. We're enjoying listening to Edwin Starr's 1974 Hell Up in Harlem original motion picture soundtrack featuring Easy In, Runnin', a couple other classics here. Great record by the great Edwin Starr. Back to the game. In the bottom of the 7th, Bill Gullickson got a victory in Game 1. Only got through 6 innings. He was roughed up. Same situation here. Going to have to lean on him a little bit. Just don't want to go to the bullpen this soon. Start wasting your bullpen. You're up 3-0 in the series. You know, you can lose a game or 2. So let's at least break Gullickson. He's a starter 7 for Pete's sakes. The batter will be the designated hitter, Keith Moreland. Here's the pitch to the designated hitter, Moreland. 45 is a sky to center. If you're wondering how do we get him into the lineup, well, he became the DH, which means we had to take a guy out. And the guy we took out was Gary Maddox. So Maddox is on the bench today. He's not playing center field. He's been playing center field all year. But today, Lonnie Smith's in center field. Ugh. So far we've survived. No one has hit a ball towards center field for safety reasons. That's good. So, with 1 out now, it's Bate McBride. 1-7, and McBride, now batting 6th, has seemed to find his stroke. He's on again, 1-7, double 1-9 is a 2-base hit. His 3rd hit of the game. So he's found his stroke now. And you got Bob Boone. 46 is a K off righty killer Gullickson, which brings up Rob Wilfong, who has become suddenly a star here. He was 4 for 4 in Game 3 and 2 for 3 today, and a chance here to give the Phillies a lead in an elimination game. Pitch to Rob Wilfong. 1-4, just misses his column and skies the center field. We'll go to the 8th. Carlton's breaking inning. Gullickson breaks in the 7th, but he only put 1 guy on. Top of the 8th, you have to think, as badly as McGraw has pitched, and Roy Thomas, and Drago, and only Sears has pitched good, pretty much have to knock Carlton out with a point of weakness, which doesn't seem like the Expos are really intimidated by that. They've been going right at him. Big Game 1 and a big Game 4. So Dan Norman got hurt here. So Cromartie had to go in for his defense in right field. So that is the 2nd lefty in the lineup against Carlton. Here's the pitch to Cromartie. 4-12, balance of the 2nd. Mick Kelleher. 67 off of the lefty, single 1-11, he gets it. He's only 2 for 4. Now you got Doug Flynn. Oh, you got to do a hit and run here, don't you? Oh, yeah, just to embarrass him. Doug Flynn with a hit and run. It's a hit and run single for Doug Flynn in the top of the 8th inning of the World Series. And now the Expos have the lead run at 3rd with just 1 out. Tasting this trophy that's sitting in the conference room somewhere in the vet, in the bowels of the stadium. The champagne's on ice, ready to pop. You got runners on the corners, 1 out. You got Tim Purple Rains. The infield's up. To add insult to injury, all you need is a hit or a walk. And Carlton's at the point of weakness. And we have that same situation. Do you leave a guy in? Oh my goodness. Tim Raines. He's not having a great day. He is 0 for 4, struck out 3 times. This is your 1981 runner-up for Rookie of the Year to Fernando. The pitch to Tim Raines. 59 off of lefty is 2nd C. That'll move a runner-up, make it at 2nd and 3rd. with 2 outs for the dangerous swings of Rich Murray, who had the big homer and double in Game 3 and has 2 more extra base hits in Game 4. He is Eddie Murray, Eddie E. Drink and B. Murray's little brother. Rich Murray, very short career, but apparently he never got to play for the Expos. Maybe that was the key here. Here's the pitch to Rich Murray. 1-10, Rich Murray. Let's flash the card up again. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him, and you cannot contain him. This guy has hit homer 1-4, fly ball the rest twice. In the league championship and World Series, he's got 2 doubles in this game, a double and a homer in the previous game. 1-10, double 1-13 off of Carlton. It is a 2-run double, and the Expos take a 7-5 lead. This is one of the most stunning moments I think I've ever had in a Strat-O-Matic World Series. This is incredible. Steve Carlton, Tug McGraw, the Phillies getting humbled, embarrassed here. And they're 6 outs away from being swept. We got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. And it's Andre Dawson. You're already broken. At this point, I just don't know what to do. I think Carlton just stays in there and mops it up at this point. You could walk Dawson and get the lefty. Let's just do that, do something different. So they're going to intentionally walk Andre Dawson here to face the lefty Al Oliver, as Carlton is a lefty, and try and get an out, the final out of this inning that started with a Kelleher single and a hit-and-run single by Doug Flynn, and then a 2-16 bat of Rich Murray with a 2-run double. I'm not making this up. You're watching this live on YouTube. So, here we go. Al Oliver, 2 on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 2-5 is a grounder to second base. So, it's 7-5. Now we're counting outs. Now we're going to look very closely at what Bill Gullickson has done thus far in this game. He's gotten through his 7 innings. Don't know what you need him to do to win a World Series. Do you really need him to go for a complete game? Probably not, right? He's given up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He's throwing a 15 hitter. Not a lot of complete game 15 hitters in this sport. It's a question of, when do you take him out? Well, is the leadoff hitter right-handed? The leadoff hitter is not right-handed. It's Boa. But unfortunately for Boa, there's nobody to hit and run for. Ouch. That stings a bit. We're going to hook Gullickson after 7, as we have Boa, Smith, who's better against righties, Rose and Gross. I'm going to a lefty. I got to go Sparky Lyle here. Sparky Lyle is coming in. He's your American League version of Tug McGraw. Sparky Lyle, who won a Cy Young Award for the Yankees, I think in 76 or 77. And then by 1979, they said, we'll see you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you, Sparky. Because they were so enamored with Rich Gossage, and then Dave Righetti came to town to be the lefty guy. No room at the end for Sparky Lyle in New York, so he goes to the Rangers in 1979. He's 5-8 with a 3.13 ERA in 95 innings. He's going to begin this attempt of recording 6 outs to win Game 4 and a sweep of the World Series. Just a quick recap. The Expos had a 1-0 lead. They had a 3-2 lead. They had a 5-2 lead. Now they have a 7-5 lead. It's the 4th different lead score of this game. Bottom of the 8th. Defensively, everybody's in for the Expos. We just need to get 6 outs for the sweep. It'll be Larry Boa on the bench. Actually, now that I think about it. Okay, let's assume if Boa leaves, because you don't really need his defense anymore. Klutz will be in this game somewhere. He doesn't need to swing here. Herndon's the best hitter. So, Klutz, where would Klutz play if he gets into this thing? Yeah, Larry Herndon's going to lead a pinch hit for Boa. They're going to go with their best guy to get on base. Larry Herndon. Let's take a look at Herndon. In the bottom of the 8th, down 2. They've got to pull out every stop possible to avoid this embarrassing sweep. Larry Herndon's going to pinch hit, play the outfield. Smith will probably bat and come out of the game because he's playing center field anyway. So Herndon will most likely go into center until we need Gary Maddox out there for Gross or Moreland. So Sparky Lyle comes on in the 8th to face Larry Herndon, leading off as a pinch hitter. And here's the pitch to Larry Herndon. 57 is a K. They tried. Just didn't work out. Now you got Lonnie Smith. Got to get on base. At least if you get on base, they have to hold you, and you have a chance of getting the plus. So Lonnie Smith will swing away against Sparky Lyle. 68, he gets a second X. It's Doug Flynn, the Philly killer. A 1-8, 1-8 second baseman. That's 2 outs. If you're looking at former Mets killing the Phillies, oh yeah, it's happening. Doug Flynn, Dan Norman, plus Tug McGraw as a member of the Phillies. So, the New York Mets are winning this World Series, folks, for the Expos here. 2 outs, and it's Pete Rose against Sparky Lyle. 2-6, double and 08 is a base hit. We are really getting close to a Mike Schmidt home run moment, 1 batter away. So this is the batter you have to get out here. Gray Gross. Let's take a look at the Gross card as he walks to the batter's box. We don't know if he's going to be pulled for a pinch hitter yet. Gray Gross, he gets on base. It's all you really need him to do. On your bench, you've got Mickey Klutz, who he's got power, and probably wouldn't encourage a pitching change. I don't think. You wouldn't think. You'd rather go with Lyle. Gary Maddox is actually not that great against lefties. I'm really thinking that Gray Gross and Sparky Lyle normally, when he was with the Yankees, he was much better against righties than lefties. And if Gray Gross gets one of these walks, it sets up Mike Schmidt, which is what we're trying to do here. So that is it. Sparky Lyle will face Gray Gross with 2 outs. And a kind of a suspect move with Mickey Klutz and Gary Maddox on the bench, right-handers. Here's the pitch to Gray Gross. 57, it doesn't matter. It's a strikeout, lefty-righty underhanded. It doesn't matter. Gray Gross strikes out. So Mike Schmidt cannot win this game in the 8th or 9th inning. We go to the 9th. We need a shortstop. Might as well take Gross out. Or Lonnie Smith. I guess Lonnie Smith would bat before Gross. We'll take Gross out. We'll put Mickey Klutz at shortstop in that spot. He'll probably make an error in the 9th inning just because he pulled Boa. That's the way this nightmare of a series has gone for the Phillies. So Herndon takes over in left field. That is an improvement on the defense. You might want to think of getting Gary Maddox in center field, I suppose, for Lonnie Smith. As I don't think in a 2-run game that Lonnie Smith would bat anyway. Schmidt, Moreland, McBride, Boone, Wilfong, Boa. That's the bases loaded. Yeah, we're going to put Gary Maddox in the leadoff spot. We can't afford a gapper off of Lonnie Smith's defense. So now we have great outfield defense. We have Herndon, Maddox, and McBride. The only hole in the defense is shortstop. And frankly, that's it. That's the end of the Philly bench. So you have Schmidt, Moreland, McBride, Boone, Wilfong, Herndon in the 9th inning. Top of the 9th, it is Parrish, Carter, Cromartie, and lefty Steve Carlton. Let's look at this line again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hitter, 7 earned runs. But what do you do? Dick Ruthin's the scheduled game 5 starter. Can anybody? Okay, well, this is getting silly. We'll go. We'll get a righty in there. Every time it's Roy Thomas, it's a nightmare. So I'm going to go Dick Drago, who's actually had a pretty good season going along. Dick Drago, 10-6 with a 3.03 ERA and 89 innings for Boston. Gave up a run in one of these games in the 8th inning. I've lost track, either game 2 or game 3. He comes on in the 9th. Really needs to, slam the door here. Larry Parrish leads off for the Expos. 65 off Drago, bounces the second. Gary Carter, 59. Short X, of course. Of course, because it's Mickey Klutz. He gets a ground ball hit to him. And Mickey, he's a 4E34. Let's see how this goes. 4E34. It goes badly. It's a single. The first hit off of Philadelphia shortstop in 2 years, as Boa is not around to catch it. Runner at first, 1 out for Warren Cromartie. 69 off Drago. Second C. We got a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for the dangerous, ferocious Mick Kelleher. 2 for 4 RBI singles. Scored a run and an RBI single for the dangerous Mick Kelleher, former member of the Chicago Cubs, trying to stick it to the Phillies. Cubs trying to stick it to the Phillies. Former Mets trying to stick it to the Phillies. Here's the pitch to Mick Kelleher. 46 off Drago is a base hit to left field. Who in the heck's the runner? It's Carter. Left field. He's a 12, 13, 14. Who we stick out there? Oh, Herndon, -2 arm. He's going to run on a 12. And he scores on a 7. Gary Carter legs it in. Probably pulled his hamstrings. He don't care. He's delirious. He's about to win the World Series with bad hamstrings in the bottom of the 9th. He scores from second. He gets a single off Mickey Klutz, moves up on a grounder by Warren Cromartie, and scores on a single by Mick Kelleher. Third hit of the game, 8-5 Expos, Doug Flynn. 4-4 center X, and no, Lonnie Smith is not out there. We did put Gary Maddox in for this particular reason. A 1-2 in center field makes the catch. Last guy in Philadelphia in the vet. Please remember to flip the lights off. It is 8-5. Expos haven't had a sweep in a World Series in the Summer League. It's been a few years since the Orioles swept the Reds. Haven't had a sweep in the Fall League. But this is uncharted territory for the Expos. Schmidt, Moreland, McBride, Boone. 3-run lead. Don't give a rip if Schmidt hits a home run. I'm going to wear Sparky Lyle out here. Sosa could pitch to a batter or 2. Romo could pitch to a righty. But I'm going to go with the veteran, Sparky Lyle, who's a relief 2. You got to break him to get him out of there. So Sparky Lyle will try and finish this thing. All the defense is in. Mike Schmidt leads off in the bottom of the 9th. Probably will hit a solo home run. 4-2? No, he will not. Ground ball to the pitcher. And Mike Schmidt, I do not know if he is homered in the World Series. This might be one of the worst postseason series I've had with him. It's a real horrible break for Schmitty. All the Hall of Famers, McGraw, Carlton, Schmidt, they've all failed here in some way or another. Keith Moreland, who was pulled from his catching duties because he was embarrassed by Tim Raines early this series. Here's the pitch to Moreland. 1-7 is a bouncer to short, and with 2 outs, frankly, it's one of the few bright spots. It's Bake McBride, who's 3 for 4, plus if you can get to Wilfong's 2 for 4. So that's your best shot at this point. Let's take a look at the Bake McBride card, because this is that moment. This could be it, folks. Bake McBride, 1980, a 309 hitter with 9 home runs, 33 doubles, 10 triples. Outstanding year. Got a World Series ring for those 80 Phillies. Great performance for him. And this could be it. Sparky Lyle. He could throw his glove up in the air to imitate Tug McGraw to add more insult to injury. In Philadelphia, in the vet. Here's the pitch to Bake McBride. 43 off of Lyle is a bouncer to first X, and it's our boy, Rich Murray. The 2 first baseman. He's a 2E22. You plug in the 2E22. It's a ground ball. See, Rich Murray smothers it. Walks over to first base. The Montreal, Burlington, Lake Champlain Expos are world champions of the American League. in stunning fashion, just obliterating the Philadelphia Phillies in 4 straight. One of the greatest World Series performances we've ever had. Your World Series MVP, I don't know, I guess it's Andre Dawson. My gosh, Bill Gullickson pitched terribly, has won 2 of the 4 World Series games. We'll give Andre Dawson the World Series MVP, or Gary Carter. I don't know. It's over. It's 8-5. We'll do a box, and then in a separate video, we'll have a look at the overall stats for the league. Sparky Lyle, 2-inning save. Let go by the New York Yankees. Tosses his glove up in the air the way Tug McGraw did in that 1980 World Series against the Kansas City Royals. Sparky Lyle, 8-5 win. Gullickson gets the win, his second win of the series. Lyle gets his first save. Carlton gets his second loss. Unbelievable. Never seen anything like this. I had the Phillies as a favorite. Drago give up 2 hits on a run in the 9th. Steve Carlton, my goodness. 13 hits and 7 runs off Steve Carlton. Who is doing this? It's the Expos is doing it. That's who. 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Sparky Lyle, brilliant 2-inning save. Once you got the ferocious Mick Kelleher, Doug Flynn combo, who went 5 for 8 in this game. 5 for 10 in this game. My goodness. Sparky Lyle came in, gave up a hit, struck out 2 batters. I guess he got a World Series ring for the 77 and 78 Yankees. Sure, so he got a World Series ring. Of course, those Yankees in the carryover league have done nothing. So he left New York for greener pastures in the Green Mountain State of Vermont. Gullickson gets the win. One of the ugliest 2-win World Series starts you are ever going to see. Gullickson gave up 15 hits and 5 runs. Really, they just could not get Steve Rogers in the Game 1 matching up against Carlton. But frankly, Gullickson and Rogers are very similar statistically. So that's the only major glaring difference from looking at the results of that 1981 National League Division Series, where the Expos won that by beating the Phillies 3-2, with Steve Rogers shutting out the Phillies in Game 5. Gullickson walked a batter, struck out 3. 1-0-1-9, 0-1-0-9, 8-15, 5-16. 3-8, 1-5, 1-5, 3-8. The Expos put 18 men on base yet again. I mean, how many times? I'm going to have to do a World Series box by itself. It's going to take some time to put this together. Let's just get to the end of this video. So say goodbye to you guys. 1-0-1-9, 0-1-0-9, 8-15, 5-16. 3-8-1-5, 3-8-1-5. That is Game 4. The Expos. In some ways, it is not that surprising. We've had, many people historically have talked about how the strikes of 81 and 94 have, altered fantastic opportunities for the team of Montreal to still have their franchise, to win those World Series and build upon that and keep their team in their city. But, hey, I kept them close. I kept them 2 hours south. So give me that. Give me a break on that. I didn't move them to Washington. I got you a ring. It's only a 2-hour drive to the parade, You hear me? Take off, eh? Maybe Geddy Lee and Rush will do a concert or something. One of those Canadian bands. I don't know. Phillies finished 26-20. 295. Great average. 4.28 ERA, which really climbed up late in the year. Their pitching really fell apart. It really was looking more and more like Steve Carlton and McGraw and 6 other guys. And then when Carlton and McGraw were getting lit up, forget it. So here is the numbers for Tug McGraw. This is so sad. He's got 2 more years. Excuse me. He's got 1 more year with this card. Then it's going to be kind of the end of his career. He's got to come back next year and redeem himself for this season. 2-4, did get the 9 saves. He gave up 20 runs in 25 innings. 720. How do you pitch to a 7.20 ERA and yet manage to still be on a World Series team? So 4 losses for Tug McGraw this year. Tied for the same amount of losses that Steve Carlton has, that Eric Schau has. More losses than Ray Burris. More losses than Dick Ruthven. Dick Drago was also 0-3. Oh my God, this Philly bullpen was just awful. Mike Schmidt stuck at 13 homer, 41 RBIs. The leading hitter for this team, it's the 61 hits of Keith Moreland. That's why he started and caught in the early games. It's just that, you know, what Tim Raines was doing was embarrassing. It was an instant double, plus Raines was getting on anyway. You can't really steal first. You didn't have to worry about that. Moreland led the club in hitting with a .339 batting average. Schmidt led him with 13 homers and 41 RBIs. And that's the story of the Phillies. So now you're world champion in Expos. You go from a 26-20 Philadelphia team, 30-13 Expos. That is rich. That is outstanding. .290 batting average, .356 ERA. Steve Rogers, 9-2, 105 innings, 3 complete games. Only had to pitch once in the World Series. He gets his ring. Gullickson gets 2 World Series wins. He finishes 7-5 overall. Scott Sanderson was 4-0. Sosa, 9 saves. Sparky Lyle, 3 saves. Nice kind of bullpen by committee. All these guys are capable of closing games. Al Oliver, he matches Schmidt with 13 home runs. Oliver only had 22 in a full season. Schmidt had, 48 of them in 1980. He had 31 of them in the strike year. Probably would have been 50 had it not been a strike. Gary Carter had 11 homer, 34 RBI. 62 hits for Al Oliver. So Al Oliver led this club in hitting with a .358 batting average, hitting 20 points over his batting title performance. Just a quick peek at Rich Murray. I'm just so curious here what his final numbers are. 18 for 78. That ain't bad. 18 for 78. He hit .231. That's not bad at all. And he had 5 of the 18 hits, or 6 of them, in the last 2 games of the World Series. So, yeah, didn't do much all year, as expected, in a platoon role. The other killer was Dan Norman. What did Dan Norman do? 22 for 68, a little bit better. Actually a .324 in a platoon, so actually Dan Norman was delivering all year. Platooning with Doug Flynn and Al Oliver and Tim Raines at the DH and second base outfield spot. 30-13 finish, 4-game sweep. We're going to call this a wrap. It's been a long day of baseball, and just going to send it out. Congratulations to the Montreal Expos. You know, a long time ago, I can recall, some comments about, hey, your league's great, but why in the hell did you move the Montreal Expos out of Montreal? I love them out there, and I kind of felt bad about that, but how about this as payback that we get the Montreal Expos a world championship, beating their rival, the Phillies, pretty much matching what happened in 1981, and you don't have to go into the next stage of that despair, which was losing that LCS on Blue Monday to the Dodgers. So we can end right here on a great note. World champion, 4-game sweep, one of the best World Series performances by anybody. And this time, the Expos, no fluke, best record in the league, the only team to go 30 wins, not even close to the second best team's not even close. It's not even the Phillies, probably the Reds. But that's it for tonight. Congratulations, Expos. That's the end of the 79-82 season. We'll have a wrap video next week, and then on to the Summer League. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.